University of the Punjab, APSY-368, solved paper Health Psychology 6th semester. Question 1 asks us to explain the modern concept of health and illness. In the old biomedical model, health simply meant not having a disease. Illness was seen as a purely physical problem, and the mind wasn't really part of the picture. Today, health psychologists follow the World Health Organization's definition instead. Health is complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just the absence of disease. This comes from Engel's biopsychosocial model, which says our health is shaped by three things together: our biology, our psychology, and our social environment. That means health isn't just sick or not sick, it's a spectrum. Someone could be free of any diagnosed disease but still be unwell mentally or socially, while someone living with a chronic illness can still report a great quality of life. This is exactly why modern healthcare focuses so much on prevention, lifestyle change, and psychological support, because how we live and think affects our health just as much as biology does. Question 2 is about the Psycho-Neuro-Immunological model, or PNI for short. This model looks at how our thoughts and emotions, our nervous system, and our immune system are all connected. When we are stressed, the HPA axis triggers cortisol release, and immune cells actually have receptors for this hormone, so ongoing stress can directly weaken the immune response. That's why people under constant stress, like caregivers or students, tend to get sick more easily and heal more slowly. It's also why relaxation techniques and mindfulness are now used to genuinely boost immune health. Question 3 asks about the relationship between the immune system and stress. Short-term stress can actually help. It preps the body for action. But long-term, chronic stress works against us. It suppresses the cells that fight infection, slows wound healing, and makes conditions like autoimmune disease harder to manage. On top of the biology, stressed people often sleep less, eat worse, and pick up habits like smoking or drinking, piling even more damage on top. Question 4 covers illness perception, basically, how we personally interpret being sick. Levinthal's model says we build a mental picture of any illness around 5 things: what it is, what caused it, how long it will last, what it will affect, and whether we believe it can be controlled or cured. These beliefs really matter. A patient who sees their condition as an uncontrollable threat becomes anxious and avoidant, while one who sees it as manageable sticks to treatment far more consistently, and that difference alone predicts poorer or better recovery, regardless of how severe the illness actually is. Describe its major risk factors. AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV infection. The virus attacks CD4 immune cells, and once those cells drop too low, the body can no longer fight off infections it would normally handle easily. The major risk factors include unprotected sex, sharing needles during drug use, unscreened blood transfusions or organ transplants, and mother-to-child transmission during pregnancy, birth, or breastfeeding, plus occupational exposure for healthcare workers through needle stick injuries. One more key risk factor to add: having multiple sexual partners without using preventive measures like condoms or PrEP significantly increases the cumulative risk of exposure over time. Question 6 asks us to tell apart acceptance and adjustment. Acceptance is the emotional side, coming to terms with the illness and no longer denying it. Adjustment is more practical, actually changing daily routines, roles, and coping strategies to live well with the condition. You can accept a diagnosis emotionally while still working through the practical adjustment, like a cancer patient who's made peace with the diagnosis but is still learning to manage fatigue and daily life around it. Moving into the detailed questions, comparing the theory of reasoned action and the theory of planned behavior. The theory of reasoned action says our intention to act depends on our attitude toward the behavior, plus the social pressure we feel from people around us. The theory of planned behavior builds on this by adding one more piece: perceived behavioral control, or how much control we actually feel we have. Both theories agree that intention is the main driver of behavior, built from attitude and subjective norm together. The key difference is scope. Reasoned action only fits behaviors fully under our willpower, while planned behavior also fits behaviors shaped by skill or resources, thanks to that added perceived control piece, which works a lot like Bandura's idea of self-efficacy. Because of this, planned behavior predicts complex health behaviors, like dieting or quitting smoking, more accurately, which is why real-world health interventions usually target a person's sense of control, not just their attitudes and social norms. Question 2 of the detailed section covers how we actually measure stress, and there are 3 main approaches. Self-report methods, like the perceived stress scale or the social readjustment rating scale, ask people directly how stressed they feel or have them list major life events. Physiological measures look at things like cortisol levels, heart rate, blood pressure, and skin response. And we're about to look at the third approach: behavioral and observational methods. Behavioral methods track changes in sleep, appetite, substance use, and work performance, often through daily diaries or mobile check-in apps that capture stress in real time. To pinpoint the exact source of someone's stress, psychologists use tools like stress diaries, life event checklists, hassle scales for everyday irritations, and functional analysis, which traces what triggers a stress reaction and what keeps it going. Finally, question 3. How the Big 5 personality traits affect physical health. Neuroticism is linked to poorer health, since people high in this trait react more intensely to stress and report more symptoms. Conscientiousness is the strongest predictor of good health and even a longer life, because conscientious people stick to healthy habits and follow through on treatment. Extroversion tends to help through strong social support, though it's a mixed bag, since extroverts can also take more risks. And agreeableness is where we pick up next. Agreeable people show lower stress reactivity during conflict, while low agreeableness, especially hostility, raises the risk of heart disease. Openness has the weakest link to health overall, though it can help people stay flexible and open-minded while coping with illness. Put together, personality shapes our health through 3 main paths: our biological stress response, our health-related behaviors, and the quality of our social relationships. And that wraps up all 9 questions from this health psychology paper.